Howdy. Welcome everyone to Morning Flow. My name is Mark Cormier. I'll be practicing with Catherine Cormier this morning, and we'll get going real soon. Watch the cord. All right. Welcome, Catherine.
Morning.
How are you this morning?
I'm good, but I'm tired. I had trouble sleeping last night.
Okay, so do what you can, and maybe we'll slow the pace down a little bit for you.
Sounds
Or
good.
maybe we'll pick it up. depending on-
Whatever. It's all good. Now I'm on the mat, I'm already feeling better, but
Excellent, excellent. Cool.
it's
And
magic how it happens with yoga.
It is, and let's get going. All right, so finding the top of your mat. From your feet, finding your legs. From your legs, finding your spine. Relax shoulders tall through the crown of the head. I'll allow you to bring your hands to your heart as you tuck the chin ever so slightly. Softening your eyes. If you're comfortable with closing your eyes, and taking a few breaths to watch your breath as it flows in. And as it flows out, arriving here on our yoga mats, ready for a morning yoga practice. From this place of just watching your breath, I'll invite you to shape your breath as you find a long, slow inhalation in, matched by a long, slow exhalation out. As you breathe in, I'll invite you to find a full body breath, bringing the air to the top of your chest, the base of your belly, filling up each side waist, filling up both front and back planes of your body. As you breathe out, I'll encourage you to engage your abdominals as you draw the low belly in and up, concurrently lifting the kidneys in and up, squeezing a little more air out, more importantly providing structural support for a low back as we move through these shapes and sequences. To this deeper, fuller, full body breath, I'll invite you to move towards the Ujjayi or ocean breath. Slight constriction of the base of the throat.
Excuse me.
God bless you.
Thank you.
To add a slight sound and feel to your breath. And as we flow through our practice this morning, letting the sound and feel of your breath be a focus for your practice, often compared to the sounds of the waves of the ocean as the waves wash in and as the waves wash out. To this Ujjayi breath, adding Jiva Bandha, the tongue loop, tip of the tongue to the hard palate just behind the teeth, keeping that tongue to hard palate connection throughout the practice, keeping our jaws relaxed and connecting front and back planes of our bodies. And finally, with your lips closed, adding a slight smile to your face, a Mona Lisa smile, opening up the front of your throat so your breath has lots of room to circulate, refresh, and revitalize. Keeping all this, lifting the chin tall through the crown, hands by your side. Just working with the shoulders, keeping it simple. Inhaling the arms up and over the head. Exhaling arms back down. 2 more times like this. Inhaling arms up. Exhaling arms down. Inhaling arms up. Exhaling arms down. Now adding a forward fold. Inhaling arms up. On the exhale, leading with the heart as you fold. Take a breath to lift chin and tail as we arc the back. On the exhale, arching the spine as we fold again. Inhaling, riding the breath up, arms out to the side and then overhead. Exhaling, standing tall. 2 more times like this. Inhaling, arms up. Exhaling, into the forward fold. Take a breath to lift chin and tail. On the exhale, folding again. Inhaling, moving towards a flat back, hinging at the hips, arms out to the side and then overhead. Exhaling, standing tall. We got 1 more to go. Breathing in, lifting up. Exhaling, folding. Take a breath to find length. On the exhale, folding again. Inhaling, hinging at the hips, riding the breath up. Exhaling, standing tall, hands by your side. So on this one, everyone at home, you stay just as you are. I'm going to direct Kathy either facing the camera or going sideways, just so you all can see her body a little bit better. But, yeah, sure.
Oh, I see. You want me to do it after I...
You can do it either way.
Yeah,
But,
okay, that's
okay,
fine.
if you want to start on a sideways
that's
perspective, go for it. Okay.
I'll do this one.
Inhaling, arms up and over the head. Exhaling, folding. Take a breath to find length as you look up. On the exhale, folding again. That's it. And making your way back to down dog. Yeah, I'm not gonna cue vinyasa on this first one. I'm not gonna cue vinyasa.
Oh.
So yeah, so just hold the down dog.
Right.
This is the way I do my own personal practice. In this first down dog, I'll invite you to walk the dog as you bend one leg deeply, grounding down through the opposite heel. Finding that same stretch on the second side. And just moving back and forth between the sides and seeing how you feel this morning. What feels tight, what feels right, what feels somewhere in between. Yeah, if you want to add a little swing of the shoulders, a little turning of the head, full body experience. Just tuning in, connecting all the various currents of energy, the 10,000 nadis. From this place of movement, I'll invite you to move back towards stillness. Long arms, long legs, long spine, deep full breath. Tail end of a breath, bending the knees ever so slightly as we lift the tailbone a little higher. A little more space in the low back. And then looking between the hands as you either step or maybe take a jump. Take a breath to find length when you're ready. Exhaling, folding again. Inhaling, hands over head pose. Exhaling, standing tall. This one I will cue vinyasa, so feel free to go for it. Inhaling, arms up and over the head. On the exhale, a forward fold. Take a breath to find length. And then breathing out, folding again. And I'll invite you to cycle through Chaturanga, yoga push-up. Feeling free to use the knees or not. Inhaling into a back bend, be it cobra or up dog. And then rolling over the toes again. Feel free to use those knees or not as you find your down dog. And holding for 3 to 5 breaths. Again, as we hold the down dog, I'll invite you to walk that dog as you bend one leg deeply and then the other. Just stretching it out, adding the shoulders, adding a little swing of the neck. Again, just connecting the 10,000 nadis, just uniting those many currents of energy into a unity of some sort. And then from this place of movement, moving back towards stillness. Long arms, long legs, long spine, deep full breath. And on the tail end of our breath, bending the knees ever so slightly as we lift the tailbone a little higher, more space in the low back, and then looking between the hands as you either step or take a jump to the front of your mat. Take a breath to find length when you're ready. On the exhale, folding again. Inhale, riding the breath up. Exhaling, standing tall. Let's do one more sun salutation A. We'll throw a moving plank with a variation into the mix. Inhaling, arms up over the head. Exhaling, folding. Take a breath to find length. And then breathing out, back to down dog as you will, either cycling through vinyasa or just stretching straight back. Yogi's choice. Feeling free to hold the down dog or throwing a moving plank into the mix. I'll invite you to inhale forward to plank pose and then navel to spine as you exhale and lift the hips high. Inhaling forward to the plank. On the exhale, back to down dog. Let's hold this last one. Inhaling forward to the plank, keeping the hips just as they are. I'll invite you to rock to the tips of the toes and back to the base. Finding the tips and back to the base. Finding the tips and back to the base. And then navel to spine. As you lift the hips high, you can take another breath to do that. And holding your down dog for another couple of breaths. From down dog, long smooth breath in. Long smooth breath out. Tail into that breath, bending the knees ever so slightly as we lift the tailbone a little higher. And then looking between the hands as you either step or maybe take that jump front. Take a breath to find length when you arrive. On the exhale, folding again. Inhaling, riding the breath up. Exhaling. Standing tall again. Take your time. Sun Salutation B. We'll do it flow style. It starts with a chair. Knees over toes, hands overhead. On the exhale, taking your chair lower. On the inhale, rising on up, glutes engaged to support a half back bend at the top. On the exhale, a big swan dive over. Take a breath to find length as you look up. And then on the exhale, folding again and making your way back to down dog as you will. Either cycling through vinyasa, maybe just stretching straight back. Vinyasa just means connected movement through space, so there's lots of ways to move through space with grace. From down dog, flow style, big toes touch, heels slightly apart, finding a three-legged dog, right leg high to the sky. Keeping that right shoulder just as it is, lifted leg straight as you stack the hips. Now bending that lifted leg, opening up that hip. And then looking between the hands as you bring that right foot through, spinning the left heel down, arms up and over the head for our warrior one. Beautiful. And then riding your exhale back to low lunge as you spin the palms out, spinning back heel up. And then either cycling through vinyasa or stretching straight back. When you're ready for that second side, big toes touch, heels slightly apart, left leg high to the sky, high on the right toes. I'm going to put my hand on your shoulder cap just to keep the shoulder grounded. Keeping that left shoulder just as it is, lifted leg straight as you stack the hips. Now bending that lifted leg, opening up that hip, and you see how that maximizes the twist of the torso. From here, looking between the hands as you bring that left foot through, spinning the back heel down, arms up and over the head for your warrior one. And then riding your exhale back to low lunge, and from low lunge back to down dog as you will. Either cycling through vinyasa or just stretching straight back. And again, vinyasa just means connected movement. Classic. Here's the chaturanga and the Urdhva Mukha Svanasana back to Ardha Mukha Svanasana. But it really can be anything that works for you this morning. Wherever you are, always feeling free to stay there. Whatever you're doing, feel free to keep doing that. For the purposes of this class, tail end of a breath, bending the knees ever so slightly as we lift the tailbone a little higher, and then looking between the hands as you either step or maybe take that jump front. Take a breath to find length when you arrive. On the exhale, folding again. On the inhale, stay low. We'll come back to our chair. Exhaling, taking it lower. On the inhale, rising on up. Glutes engaged, a little back bend at the top. On the exhale, neutral spine. I'll invite you to bring hands to heart as we bring our attention back inward, watching as our breath flows in and watching as our breath flows out. Just for fun, let's take a belly breath interlude as we bring one hand onto our belly, the other hand on top, letting the warmth of your hands penetrate through to the very center of yourself, letting the warmth of your belly penetrate out through the back of your hands. A very calming breath as you send your breath deep, deep, deep into that belly. And one more belly breath here. Now bringing hands by our side. Hands find the hips as we either step or jump our feet hip width apart. On the inhale, we'll bring arms up to one side. On the exhale, passing the hands through center, bending those knees, giving those wrists a little flick. And then other side. And we'll do 6 with the breath. We're halfway done. A couple more each way. One more each side. And then back up. And yeah, feel free to keep on going. It's kind of like a spinning wheel. When's it going to stop? And then we'll step or jump our feet on in. An extended standing pose sequence. We'll start a little bit differently. As we shift weight onto our right foot, angling the right toes out just a tad to give our hips a little more space. So I'm going to turn the toes out just a little bit. Yeah, that way. Yeah, but not so much. Everyone's hips have a different shape. So most people don't work with the toes facing straight ahead, but a little bit of an angle, a little more easeful feel to that hip. Moving towards a standing swan, the standing pigeon, standing half lotus, lots of names for it, standing figure four. As we bend that right knee, we're going to bring that left ankle on top of the thigh. Find your balance, yeah. Really connecting with that place between the big toe and second toe as you find your balance. Sitting down in our invisible chair, hands either stay on the hips or hands find the heart. Hands either stay at heart or we stretch those hands high. Try to keep the shoulders relaxed. And if the pose feels wobbly, rippling those fingers to stabilize the shape. High hands come back to the heart. Hard hands come back to the hips. We can straighten that standing leg without locking the knee, lifting that left thigh high, the toe points down, yeah, for the flamingo. And then keeping that soft point to the toe without dropping the thigh, lengthening through the leg. Lifting that leg a little higher. Now we're going to flex the foot, we're going to sweep the foot through as we find our warrior one prep. You want to go sideways on this one. Yeah. In our warrior one prep, I'll invite you to shift weight onto the front foot as we go longer in our stance, so sliding that back foot back. From here, with our hands on our hips, we can steer our hips front. Now, four fingers find the tip of a thumb. We can try to touch the front of our wrists as we stretch out the back of our wrists. Adding wrist circles for 1, 2, and 3. Taking it the other way for 1, and 2, and 3. Now bringing those bird beaks onto our shoulders, relaxing our shoulders and squaring our heart front. Now finding the clasp of the fingers behind the head, pressing the head into the hands, open heart, open throat, and then stretching those hands high to the sky. From here with the breath, gathering up the energy. On the exhale, cactus arms as we offer it out. And let's do 6. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. We're halfway done. Breathing in, breathing out. Last 2, breathing in, breathing out. Last 1, breathing in, breathing out, and finding your cactus arms. And holding that shape. The elbows move back, the wrists come with, rippling those fingers. Just enjoying the stretch. Turning warrior 1 with cactus arms into warrior 2 as hands find the heart. We open up the hips. I'll invite you to kick that back foot in a little bit for heel to arch alignment. If that's too tight, feel free to work wider. And then finding one long arm, looking out over those front fingers with a steady yet relaxed gaze. From here, painting rainbows. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. We're halfway done. Breathing in, breathing out. Last 2, breathing in, breathing out. Last 1, breathing in and holding the reverse warrior, reaching up higher, reaching down further, breathing into that front lateral line, finding more space between each rib with every breath. Now turning the reverse warrior back into warrior 2 as we bend that front knee. Transitioning to Trikonasana, thumb and forefinger find crease of hip and base of rib. Deepening that crease, lengthening those ribs, grounding bottom hand down in an appropriate place, opening up that top shoulder, stretching hand high.
I just realized I'm not facing it down.
It's okay. You have a beautiful backside. Either looking down to the ground, off to the side, or up to the sky. Now I'll come on camera just to demo. So we always think of the body, we're very front body oriented. But if you were to send your breath into the body, or into the center of yourself, not only do you have the belly, you've also got back belly here. So just breathing into that place. From here, I'll invite you to move towards the half moon. Hand finds the hip. We take a big step in as we shift weight onto the front foot. I'll suggest setting the base with 2 hands. Lifting that back leg any amount. And hips are going to face the side. That second hand can stay down or can find the hip. Maybe we stretch it high to the sky. And you're a little off camera here, no big deal. So, that's okay, that's all
What do
good.
you want me to do?
Just stay exactly as you are. Yeah. So we're going to play with Ardha Chakrasana today. So I want you to get small like a ball as you bend the standing leg. You're going to reach back and catch that foot. Yeah. And now you're going to kick it back tall. And you can traction yourself with the kicking of the foot into the hand, opening up your heart. And this is not an easy pose, so still finding an easeful quality to your breath. So I'll invite you to get small like a ball again, get small, releasing the foot. And then we can land that back foot down, coming back to our warrior two, one long arm. And then we'll stretch out our shoulders with a big windmill of the arms as we find our low lunge. And from low lunge, back to down dog as you will, either cycling through vinyasa or stretching straight back, yogi's choice. So let's sneak in a prone back bending set. Feels so good. I'll make sure you're still on camera here. I'll invite you to inhale forward to plank pose. We're going to repeat that same exercise here. And then navel to spine as you lift the hips high. So yeah, back and forth. Inhaling forward to the plank. Navel to spine as you lift the hips high. We'll work that variation again. Inhaling forward to the plank. Rocking to the tips of the toes. And back to the base. Tips and base. One more, tips and base. Now hold the plank. And then feel free to use the knees or not. A long, slow push-up all the way down, yoga style. And make sure you're down there. Yes, you're visible. Can you back up just a little bit, Kathy? Yeah, perfect. A little bit more. I'm more interested in your, yeah, a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. I can also adjust the camera here. Finding a cross of the forearms, let your forehead be heavy on those forearms. You're good. Feeling that press of the brow into the forearms, letting that relax the back of the head, the shoulders. From here, moving towards a Sphinx pose. As we bring our elbows under our shoulders, spreading our fingers wide. Shoulder blades back and down onto rib shaft. Nice. As we hold the Sphinx, I'll invite you to work with your low back as you rock from hip point to hip point. Now adding a little swinging of the shoulders, a little swaying of the head as you connect the crown of your head to the base of your spine. And then coming back center here. Ears in line with shoulders, shoulders in line with hips. From here, feeling free to stay here, or moving towards your forearm plank as you tuck the toes. We lift the thighs in and up, and then connecting the head, the hips, and the heels. As you draw the navel up and in. Either holding your forearm plank just as it is, or rocking to the tips of the toes. And back to the base. Try to keep the hips just as they are. Tips and base. One more time. Tips and base. And then landing those knees lightly, landing the hips lightly, unfurling the feet, pulling back with the hands to lengthen front heart. And again, coming back to that place where the forearms are crossed and the forehead is heavy, heavy, heavy on those forearms. So that forehead place, it's the sixth chakra. It's also the third eye. It's the center of how we know things without knowing things, without knowing how we know them. So that's a mouthful.
You know them so well that you can't talk about it.
And from here, let's find a reverse push-up as we bring hands under shoulders. Toes are tucked. Feel free to use the knees or not. You're going to inhale all the way up. Trying to keep that line of energy. So you don't want to. You want to keep the back of the head in line with the sacrum. I'm going to keep this place here super, super solid. So feel free to use those knees. Yeah, there it is. Nice. Keep the hips lifting the whole time, and then you're going to stretch it back to down dog shape. Yeah, nice. As we hold down dog shape, again, I'll invite you to walk the dog as you bend one leg deeply and then the other, just stretching it out. And those of you at home, or even in this room, if you want to cycle through vinyasa, go for it. If you've done enough push-ups, feel free to keep walking the dog or holding your down dog in stillness, making a choice that works for you, your breath, your body. From down dog, long, smooth breath in. Long, smooth breath out. Tail into that breath, bending the knees ever so slightly, lifting the tailbone a little higher, more space in the low back. And then looking between the hands as you either step or take a jump to the front of your mat. Take a breath to find length when you arrive. So you're going to arc the back, so hands are going to cap the knees. On the exhale, folding again as we round the spine. On the inhale, knees over toes, we'll come back to our chair. Exhaling, taking it lower. On the inhale, rising on up. On the exhale, neutral spine. Hands by our side. I'll invite you to bring hands to heart, this time adding an isometric engagement as we press the palms together, elbows wide, shoulders engaged, a tuck of the tail, a tuck of the chin as we connect with the strength of our center. And then lifting the chin, tall through the crown, hands by our side. From here, let's bring hands on hips as we step or jump our feet hip width apart. On the inhale, arms out to each side. On the exhale, bending the knees, we'll pass the hands in front as we give our wrists a little flick. And then another cross with the breath. We're halfway done. A couple more each way. One more each side. And then back up. And either stepping or jumping it in, thin like a pin. From here, we're going to work that standing swan, that standing pigeon, that standing half lotus, that standing figure four shape. Lots of names for many of these shapes, depending on your tradition. As we bring hands on hips, we're going to shift weight onto our left foot. And I'll invite you to angle those toes out just a little bit. Now, it's going to be, everyone's hips are a little bit different. Some people want a big turnout, some people want a small turnout. Most of us, even though classically the toes face straight ahead, I find that binds my hip a little bit. So I like to work that little turnout. Shifting the weight onto the left foot as that right foot gets light. We're going to bring that ankle on top of the thigh. Take your time to find your balance. And your balance point generally is going to be that place between the big toe and second toe. Sitting down in our invisible chair. Hands either stay on the hips or hands find the heart. Hands either stay at heart or we stretch those hands high. Keep the shoulders relaxed. And I'll invite you to ripple your fingers to stabilize the shape. High hands come back to the heart. Heart hands find the hips. We can straighten the standing leg without locking the knee as we lift that right thigh up, toe points softly down for the flamingo. Either staying here or leaning a little bit forward as we lengthen through that leg. Again, the toe stays softly pointed. Soft point, maybe not so much. Relax a little bit. Lifting that leg a little higher. And then flexing the foot as we sweep it on through. At this point, I'll invite you to go sideways. And you can probably face the same way this time, so we get to see your beautiful face. Shifting weight onto the front foot, I'll invite you to go a little longer in your stance, getting some stretch in your legs. With our hands on our hips, we can steer our hips front. Four fingers find the tip of a thumb. We're going to try to touch the front of our wrist to stretch out our wrists. And then we'll add circles for 1, 2, and 3. Other way for 1, 2, and 3. Now bringing those bird beaks onto our shoulders to relax our shoulders and square our heart front. Finding the other clasp of the fingers behind the head, pressing the head into the hands, open heart, open throat, elbows wide to the side. And now stretching those hands high to the sky. From here with the breath, gathering up the energy, exhaling, offering it out. Breathing in and breathing out. We'll do 6. Breathing in and breathing out. Okay, 3 more to go. Breathing in, breathing out. Last 2, breathing in, breathing out. Last 1, breathing in, breathing out, and holding cactus arms. The elbows move back, the wrists come with, rippling those fingers, just enjoying the stretch. Now turning warrior one into warrior two, hands find the heart. We open up the hips to face the side. I'll invite you to narrow the stance if appropriate, heel to arch alignment, and then finding one long arm, looking out over those front fingers with a steady yet relaxed gaze. From here, I'll invite you to paint rainbows, breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. We're halfway done. Breathing in, breathing out. Last two, breathing in, breathing out. Last one, breathing in and holding the reverse warrior. Reaching up higher, reaching down further. Breathing into that front lateral line, finding more space with your breath between each rib. Now, the reverse warrior becomes warrior two. Transitioning to triangle. Thumb and forefinger find crease of hip and base of rib. Now deepening that crease, lengthening those ribs, keeping a little spring in the knee as you ground bottom hand down in an appropriate place. Using that top hand to open up the top shoulder. Yeah, see, I always like to visit the shoulder first. Yeah, there you go, just to remind that scapula to ground back and in. And then keeping that grounding, lengthening through the arms as you stretch high to the sky. Nice, beautiful. So again, we're three-dimensional beings. Because our eyes are in the front of our head, whenever I say the center of ourselves, we tend to think in the belly, but really the center is going to be the back, the side. So really just breathing in to the center of yourself. Now we have a choice. We can either stay here, we could find some other shape, down dog, child's pose, whatever you'd like. Challenging your balance as we move towards the half moon. Hand finds the hip. We can take a big step in. I'll suggest setting the base with two hands. I think, yeah, you're good, you're perfect. Lifting that back leg any amount. Second hand can stay down, or maybe it finds the hip as you find your balance. And that's a little tricky next to these windows. And then we can use that hand again to open up that shoulder, just grounding the scapula back and down. And then from that foundation, long through the arm. Either looking down off to the side or up to the sky. That's awesome. So I want to make sure you get plenty of energy for the Ardha Chakrasana version of Ardha Chandrasana. As you get small like a ball, you're going to reach back and catch that foot. And then kicking the foot into the hand as we open up heart and throat chakra. If you can look up, great. Otherwise, just keep your gaze down. Again, we don't want you to fall through those windows. No, we don't. Deep, full breaths, despite the effort of the action, still finding an easeful quality to your breath. Beautiful. Yeah, the toes look a little more comfortable, a little more space to work. To come out of the shape, getting small like a ball, releasing the foot, grounding that back foot, shifting the weight into the feet as you come back up to your warrior two. And then a big windmill of the arms as you make your way back to down dog. So while she does that, let me demo the alternative to my next shape or sequence here. Let's see if you can see me here. So I'm going to do a swan or a pigeon pose. You stay in your down dog or find your child's pose. If that's not for your knees this morning, you can always flip over onto your back and find thread the needle, ankle on top of thigh. We reach through and catch thigh or shin, and that would be your alternative. Otherwise, I'm going to cue the supine swan, the supine pigeon. So Kathy's in child's pose right now, well deserved. When she's ready to move on, finding her down dog. From here, big toes touch, heels slightly apart, right leg high to the sky for the three-legged dog. Keeping that right shoulder, I'm going to move my hand again onto your shoulder. Just as it is, we're going to stack the hips, lifted leg straight. Now bending that lifted leg, opening up that hip. And now we're going to move towards the swan pose as we sweep the right knee towards right wrist. Grounding the knee on down, walking the left leg back. Take your time as you settle the hips. I'll invite you to unfurl the foot so the tops of the toes are down, not the tips. And then from here, let's find a little more space as we open up heart and throat chakra, finding the tips of 10 fingers. inviting the shoulders to move back and down, again, grounding those scapula, open heart, open throat, and then leading with the heart as you find a forward fold with the arms in extension. Bringing your forehead onto the mat and letting that press of the forehead into the mat. Again, third eye, sixth chakra, it's also an acupressure point. Releasing tension to the back of the head, the neck, the shoulders. From here, let's walk the hands in. Let's find swan twist each way. Let's find a perpendicular forearm on the bent knee side of things. You're going to turn away from the camera here. Other hand goes out to the side. And you're going to traction yourself into a twist, any amount, as you pull back with that forearm. Now coming back center, you'll find the other perpendicular forearm, other outrigger hand, and again, just tractioning yourself the exact right amount that's right for you as you breathe into your low back. Now coming back center, grounded down through your right hand. We're going to bend that left leg, and we're going to reach back with our left hand to try to catch the foot. And then kicking the foot into the hand, I'll suggest the tips of 10 fingers as you open up your heart. Either keeping that right hand down or lifting that right hand high to the sky. Ooh, it's a tricky one. We haven't done this one in a long time. Beautiful. Look at that. Right hand comes down. You can carefully release the foot. Carefully. Finding the tips of 10 fingers. Now finding the palms. Pressing into the palms to find a three-legged dog, keeping the bent knee bent. Yeah, so you want that. Oh, that's interesting. All right.
No,
yeah, there
it
it
just
is.
was, yeah.
I can cue that.
I'm a little confused.
It's all good. Yeah, and you're opening up the hip. Go, 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 go. Now very carefully lengthening through that leg. Yeah. And then grounding down through the foot. And finding your down dog. And either holding your down dog or cycling through vinyasa. Yogi's choice. And if you want to hold your down dog, feel free to walk it. That's not an easy sequence. You want to make sure you still have that sense of ease as we practice. And let's sneak in. Not yet. We'll do it at the end. Okay. We're going to do our swan second side. Big toes touch, heels slightly apart. Left leg high to the sky. Again, open my hand on your shoulder. Lifted leg straight as we stack the hips. We want to keep that left shoulder down to maximize the twist of the torso. Now bending that top leg, opening up that hip. And now looking between the hands as you sweep that left knee through, landing it lightly, keeping the knee joint closed. Walking the right foot back as you settle the hips. Unfurling the feet to stabilize the shape. So tops of the toes are this part of the toes is down, yeah. I don't know if you can see her foot. It's not a tuck toe. The tips of 10 fingers to settle the shoulders, so the scapula moving back and down, open heart, open throat. And then keeping that sense of openness as you spider those fingers front, lengthening your spine as you lay yourself down. Nice, nice, nice. And take your time. And you find where you want to go, letting the forehead press into the mat, and letting that press of the forehead. Relax the back of the head, the neck, the shoulders. Yeah, if you want to. Palms down is very calming, palms up a little more open and receptive, and it has different feel for your shoulders. You can move between the two. Now moving towards that swan twist each side as we walk the fingers on in. We're going to find a perpendicular form on the bent knee side of things. Outrigger hand on the long leg side of things. This time you are going to turn to the camera. And then pulling back with that forearm as you give a nice stretch in your low back. Any amount. You might even pulse it a little bit, just seeing how you feel, almost like walking the dog, but not as obvious. And then we'll find that swan twist the other way as we walk our hands through center. Other outrigger hand, other perpendicular form. And then pulling back with that form. As we stretch out our back, it can be a continuous pull, maybe it's a pulsation. I don't know. We have a blender, and I always like the various settings, and I like to play with what the various settings do in terms of blending the various ingredients inside the blender. Now coming back center, let's move towards our challenge pose this morning. As we ground down through the left hand, did I mess it up?
Mm-hmm.
And then we're going to bend that back leg, and we'll reach back with the right hand to catch the foot.
Just trying to get in the camera a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. It's beautiful, beautiful shot with the background of San Francisco behind you. As you kick the feet into the hand, or the foot into the hand, deepening back heart. Open heart, open throat, just from the openness. Nice. And then lifting the hand. Awesome, beautiful. Somebody's got an IG post today. We'll have to take a screenshot of that. Nice smile on your face. Coming back down easily, grinding down through the hand, carefully releasing the foot. And yeah, keep the toes tucked. We're going to find a three-legged dog. You're going to keep that knee joint closed. And I love what you did. Keeping the knee joint closed, but still opening up the hip. Awesome. Beautiful. And then straightening. Yeah, if you want to add a little movement, go for it. Looks like it feels great. And then you're going to ground down through two toes. Either walking the dog, cycling through vinyasa. There's a little free-form interlude here, so you can do what feels right and good for you, giving you some space at home. And now I want to move towards another signature pose, and I was going to work this in between the two sides, but I wanted to get the bent leg experience on both sides, so that we have some evenness in our practice. So I invite you to come forward to plank pose again. And then navel to spine as you lift the hips high. Inhaling forward to the plank. Navel to spine as you lift the hips high. Inhaling forward to the plank. Holding the plank, keeping the hips just as they are as you rock to the tips of the toes. And back to the base. Tips and base. Tips and base. And then a long, slow push-up all the way down. Yoga style, elbows shave the ribs. From here, coming back to the crocodile pose. Make sure you can be seen. Yes. Awesome. I'm going to shift the camera just a tad. Beautiful. And let's play with grasshopper here. As you ground down through the chin, hands are by your hips, the palms face up. From here, pressing into the back of the hands as you lift head and heart. Pressing into the back of the hands as you lift the legs. Now lifting the hands as you fly through the air. Shoulders move away from the ears. And if you want to rock it, go for it. Putting your mind in your belly. Otherwise holding it in static. And try to let the breath initiate the action. So as you breathe in, that causes the body to lift. As you breathe out, that causes the body to lower. And then one more time. And then coming all the way down, we'll turn our head to one side, just resting and relaxing, letting yourself be super, super, super receptive to the earth, to its foundation, to the support it's giving you right here, right now. Now turning your head the other way. And just notice how your neck feels on this side. Take your time. So peak pose here. If the bow pose is not for you, feeling free to repeat the grasshopper or feeling free just to rest and relax. Otherwise, grounding down through the chin. Bending one leg as you reach back to catch a foot. Bending the other as you catch that other foot. Before we lift up, finding the frog pose. The hips stay heavy. We're going to press our heels towards our outer hips as we stretch out those quads. And you're super, super open in your quads, Kath, just so you know. There's no way I'm ever going to get to that place. And now we're going to kick our feet into the hands to lift the thighs. Let that lifting of the thighs lift the heart as we find the bow. And again, I'll invite you to coordinate with your breath as you rock the bow back and forth, as you inflate that belly, feeling the heart lift. As the belly deflates, feeling the heart lower. This is not an easy pose by any means. And one more time. And then carefully releasing those legs. Hands stay by the hips. I'm going to invite you to take your head to that second side first. So as you want to release the legs. It's a relaxation shape, yeah. Take your time. Again, just letting yourself be super, super receptive to the earth's support. How good can the ground feel? And then taking your head the other way. It's funny, when you're thirsty and you take a drink of water, water is so delicious. After some effort, the ground just feels so good. It's a very simple thing. And from here, I'll invite you to find a reverse push-up as you bring your hands under your shoulders, tucking those toes, feet hip-width apart. Feel free to use the knees or not. We want to keep the head and the sacrum in one line. So pushing hard into the hands, keeping that relationship intact. The hips lift the whole time, that's it. And then stretching it back to a child's pose. Nestling your belly inside your thighs. Yeah, arms in extension. And that's perfect. As we hold the child's pose, letting your belly massage your thighs as you breathe in. Letting your thighs massage your belly as you breathe out. Now in our child's pose, releasing and relaxing the low back, palms down, keeping hips and heels just as they are as we find a side bend, walking our hands to one side. Stretching far hip to far heel. Now walking your hands through center, finding that second side, stretching other hip to other heel. Now walking hands center. Let's walk our hands in and bring our feet off to one side as we find two long legs in front. I'll suggest giving our knees a little love and consideration, a hand on each side, warming up that connective tissue. Fingers find the back of the knee, just exploring that place. And then giving that kneecap a little wiggle. Second side, a hand on each side, just warming up that connective tissue, keeping it happy. Fingers find the back of the knee. And then giving that kneecap a little wiggle. From here, I'll suggest a long, slow roll down onto your back, starting from tall spine, back of the head's in line with the sacrum. Arms in front, Frankenstein arms. And now finding C-spine as we tuck tail and chin and we slowly roll ourselves down. Slow, 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 laying each vertebrae down as if you're laying pearls onto a cushion. Beautiful. Nice, slow, slow, slow. When we get down, full body stretch. Sorry, I know you're eager for that Shavasana.
I have to.
And then sweeping hands by your side, finally finding your final relaxation shape. Take your time. Scooting the head back, flattening the shoulders. Tip of the tongue is now neutral in the mouth. A slight part to the lips, but still breathing in and out through your nose. And as we hold the shape, initially focusing on the breath, but as we hold the shape, even letting that focus soften. As we bring our senses inside. I'm going to ring these yoga bells 3 times. At home, certainly feeling free to stay in your Shavasana. I'll invite you to move your mind before you move your body. Bring your attention back to your breath, watching as it flows in and out. To this watching of your breath, I'll invite you to shape your breath as you find a long, slow inhalation in, followed by a longer, slower exhalation out. So we're varying that ratio as we seek a more relaxing breath. letting any lingering tension out with those longer, slower out breaths. Now inviting more life force into your body as you gently ripple fingers and toes. Now inviting that life force in towards center as we gently circle our wrists and our ankles. A shimmy of the shoulders, a little shimmy of the hips, connecting with your own innate sense of well-being. From here, drawing one knee in and then the other as we find Apanasana, hands catch the shins. And using your thighs to massage your low belly, front to back, side to side, circles, whatever feels right and good for you. And then back to center. I'll invite you to stretch long through an arm, rolling onto your side, letting that arm serve as a cushion for the head. Sharing a breath here, I'll invite you to let that breath sigh out through your mouth. So soften your shoulders, relax your jaw, soften the corners of your eyes. And then pressing into your hands as we claim a cross-legged sit. Take your time. As we sit, grounded down through two sits bones, I'll invite you to bring your hands onto your knees. Pulling back with your hands to sit up a little straighter, a little taller. 5 fingers of one hand find the ground. The palm of the other hand faces the sky. A slight tuck of the chin. Ending our practice as we started, watching as our breath flows in and out. From this place of breath awareness, I invite you to bring your hands to your heart and bow as you thank yourself for practicing yoga. And as we offer our practice out to each other and to the world, the light within us, I forget, the light within me honors and respects. The light within us honors and respects the light within you. And in this light, we are one. Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you at home for practicing with us. Thank you,
you.
Kathy, for practicing with me.
Thank you, Mark.
And
Thank you, everyone.
I love the way Namaste sounds like, have a nice day. And we'll see you real soon.